NBA stars easily expose Sheryl Swoopes' anti-Caitlyn narrative, leaving Swoopes looking foolish. Caitlin Clark had the greatest rookie year in WNBA history. She broke record after record and rewrote the history books. However, despite having such a phenomenal season, some critics have said she wasn't that dominant. Of course, we are talking about Sheryl Swoopes. Swoopes has gone on a generational run of hating, trying her hardest to discredit what Caitlin Clark has achieved. But by now, everyone is starting to see how ridiculous some of her arguments have been. So much so, that even NBA players are speaking out against Swoopes and poking fun at her narratives. By the end of this video, you'll see why players are piling on Sheryl Swoopes. This all started when Swoopes appeared on Gilbert Arenas' show and argued that Caitlin didn't have a dominant rookie year.
What I said was I didn't think Caitlin or Angel would come into the league and dominate immediately, which I don't think either of them did.
Swoopes even tried to argue that Caitlin's individual stats weren't that impressive, but Gil and his co-hosts couldn't sit around and hear Swoopes' horrible take.
Numbers. I don't look at the dominating factor being numbers. It's what you're doing on the floor. And those numbers would change if the factors on the floor changes. If you make that layup, the stats change. If you swing, I get a layup, stats change. These are factors on the floor that we don't get to see.
However, it seems like Swoopes got her feelings hurt after Caitlin surpassed her career high. And perhaps that's why Swoopes has this anti-Caitlin agenda going on.
When everybody else, they're quick to throw stats, right? It's like, oh, well, this is what she did. Like somebody's like, oh, Sheryl Swoopes only scored 34 points in the WNBA. Caitlin scored 35. So you can't use stats when it benefits you.
But the funny thing is, she ended up exposing her biases by her illogical argument. This led to some NBA players like Dejonte Murray openly laughing at Swoopes on social media. The 2022 NBA All-Star commented under a Bleacher Report Instagram post outlining many of the records Clark set this season. Murray wrote, "She's not dominating," followed by a series of laughing emojis. Let's look at the facts. Caitlin has done the impossible and turned around the Indiana franchise. Indiana already has as many wins this season as it did a year ago, and is tied for the fourth most victories in the league since the start of July. She has also etched her name in the league's historical record. Against the Seattle Storm, she set the record for most assists by a first-year player, passing WNBA legend Ticha Penicheiro with 12 games to spare. She also has the most assists in a single game, dishing 19 dimes. Along with the record for the most consecutive point-assist double-doubles in a rookie season, the most double-doubles by a rookie guard, the first rookie to record a triple-double, the single-game leader in three-point field goals made by a rookie, and she is the youngest player to record a double-double with points and assists in back-to-back games. Those are just some of her accomplishments. She has also had some unbelievable moments this season. Clearly, Caitlin Clark has let her game do the talking in her WNBA rookie season. But still, all of this isn't enough for Swoopes.
My statement was, I don't think either of them are going to come into the league and dominate immediately, meaning what they did in college.
Over all of the players in the W.
And the reason why I said it is because you have a player like an Asia Wilson.
Swoopes also suggested that Caitlin's teammates aren't happy playing with her because Caitlin takes so much of the spotlight.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't want to be here. This is where I want to be.
Yeah, Melissa.
What you said, there's a lot of shit going on. What kind of things you said?
I'm not in the locker room.
Okay.
I'm
But
talking about more social media.
Okay.
However, a former NBA player, Sam Dekker, didn't let that slide. Dekker is a University of Wisconsin basketball legend who was selected by the Houston Rockets with the number 18 overall pick of the 2015 NBA draft. He spent 3 seasons with Houston. He couldn't help but refute Swoopes' sentiment in an X-post. Being on the Rockets with Prime Harden was the best shit ever. We were on national TV all the time, won a ton of huge games and awesome moments, and he made the game incredibly easy for guys like me. I don't believe for a second that the team dislikes it, Dekker said in a reply to a video of Swoopes' Clark comments. The anti-Caitlin narrative has been going on for a long time. Swoopes seems to be at the head of it. There have been other NBA players who have spoken out against this narrative and, in a way, spoken against Swoopes. One person who clearly disagrees with this narrative is Charles Barkley. Charles is known for speaking his mind. He he never holds anything back, and he couldn't sit around and watch as these other players targeted and attempted to hurt Caitlyn.
These ladies, and I'm a WNBA fan, they cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried. People believe what we say on television. Just because people don't like you or your personality, they can't get on TV and slander you. It's just total bullshit.
This isn't the first time he has had to defend Caitlyn from what's been happening in the WNBA. In fact, Barkley went on television a few months back and told women to leave Caitlyn alone.
You women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most insecure group in the world.
Oh, you are.
Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters.
Simply put, jealousy is never a good look. And it has been so obvious as well. Even LeBron James went on Twitter to address Caitlin Clark's haters after Caitlyn had an unbelievable game. He simply wrote, "Caitlin Clark, hi haters," and then reposted her epic 31-12 game. It's really interesting seeing how NBA players talk about Caitlyn compared to the WNBA. Prior to that, LeBron also spoke against the narrative surrounding Caitlyn earlier in the season.
One thing that I love that she's bringing to her sport, more people want to watch. More people want to tune in. I saw for the first time that they had a chartered plane for the first time in their league history. You know, they flew private. That should be celebrated in its own right.
Meanwhile, Jeff Teague went on his podcast and clearly said that the players are flat out hating on Caitlyn, even though she is uplifting the entire game of basketball.
That part for me with Caitlin Clark, it's like what the people say afterwards, like, shorty, like, what she do good, just shoot threes? It's like, nah, nigga, she got y'all charter jets.
Nah, that's facts,
She
bro.
got eyeballs on y'all game. Like, what are you talking about? But you know it's real hate. Like, that's a real hate moment, bro. Like,
It's perfectly fine to criticize a player. Caitlyn will be the first one to tell you that she isn't perfect. She famously started her WNBA career setting an unflattering record. She scored 20 points in her debut game, but during that game, she also committed 10 turnovers, the most in a debut in WNBA history. The losses also piled up pretty quickly. However, one reason for the slow start has to be the tough schedule, but at the same time, when you're considered a legend coming into the WNBA, shouldn't you be great right away? However, in order for your critique to have some validity, you also have to give credit where credit is due.
We say her stats are today, what?
20 points, 8.4 assists, 6 rebounds.
That's crazy.
But 5
That's crazy. Is that
5.6
Those are
turnovers.
hell of a number.
Those are hell of a numbers.
But to me, that's not dominating.
Yeah, it's only...
Stephen A. Smith has also called her out for her extremely poor take.
Clark and the Fever currently lead the WNBA in average game attendance and per game TV viewership. But despite the attendance and viewership records, there seems to be some haterade in the league in regards to Clark starting with WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes herself.
Stephen A. was referring to Swoopes' extremely biased take on Indiana's recent rise in the standings. Swoopes showed how petty she can really be when she decided to credit players like Lexi Hull, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston, who have also been great since the team's return from the Olympic break, but there was never a mention of the Fever's star point guard. She believes Indiana will keep moving up in the standings if they're able to keep playing at this level, especially with Hull, Mitchell, and Boston's success.
Shout out to Lexi Hull. I'm a big Lexi Hull fan. Watch her in AU. Lexi Hull shot the leather off the ball in their game against Seattle and just couldn't miss. Kelsey Mitchell is just stroking. She is just shooting the basketball. Aaliyah Boston, almost a triple-double.
Conveniently, she forgot about Caitlyn's historic record. Heck, Swoopes gave Angel Reese a shout-out instead for losing a game.
Before I get into that, I am going to say this. Shout out to Angel Reese, even in a loss. Listen, 20 boards.
It's crazy.
20 boards. Say what you want to say about how she's getting all these rebounds. Not everybody can get 20 rebounds. I don't care if you're rebounding your own.
All Sheryl Swoopes did was validate all the speculation that there's folks hating on Caitlin Clark. That's all she did. Because to know basketball like Sheryl Swoopes does, to be as accomplished as she is.
What's even funnier is the fact that Caitlin has continued to set new records. After averaging 24.0 points, 8.5 assists, and 5.2 rebounds per game in August, Caitlin was named the Rookie of the Month for the third time and August's Eastern Conference Player of the Month. With this honor, Clark became the first rookie in WNBA history to earn the Player of the Month award. On September 4th, the Fever beat the Los Angeles in a 93-86 win with Clark posting 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists, marking her second career triple-double. During this game, she registered her 100th three-pointer made, making her the first to achieve in a rookie season and the fastest player in WNBA history to do so. It took her just 34 games. It was also Clark's third straight game with at least 20 points and 10 assists, equaling the Courtney Vandersloot streak from 2017 as the longest in WNBA history. It's safe to say that Caitlin entered the WNBA season with higher expectations than any rookie. Right away, people expected her to not only dominate, but carry the league on her shoulders. Most rookies come into the league and ride the bench for a while and work on their skill set. A few special cases might start right away. And then there are the ultra-special cases who not only start, but make a big impact. Caitlin went beyond this. She was tasked with leading the Indiana Fever back to relevance after a 7-year playoff drought, along with carrying the WNBA to new heights. What other rookies had to take on such responsibility? Along with the record for the most consecutive point-assist double-doubles in a rookie season, the most double-doubles by a rookie guard, the first rookie to record a triple-double, the single-game leader in three-point field goals made by a rookie, and she is the youngest player to record a double-double with points and assists in back-to-back games. No wonder players are laughing at Sheryl Swoopes for saying that Caitlin Clark hasn't been dominant in her rookie season. That statement is simply absurd.